I know it's like the preseason and all, but we are roughly halfway through the preseason window before we get to actual regular season. And for a team that is supposed to be contending for the Super Bowl, to beat the Chiefs, to, win it all, to put up that kind of performance, even if it is just in a preseason game, is very telling as to what will happen if any one of their starters is injured. Because, dear God, they could not offense or defense or anything. But who cares? Hello. It's preseason week 2. How fun. So, the Bears showing out in the first Sunday night game of the the NFL sphere. Showing out a lot. 38 to nothing. I don't completely understand why. But a team with depth issues is not the Bears anymore. We have better depth than the Bills. I don't really care that there were like 2 drives in which we had our actual starters. We put up 7 points in those 2 drives, and then we put in our backups. So if you take that 1 touchdown away, that's 31 to nothing. Bills, are you good? Do you need some help here? Because it feels like it feels like you need a lot of help. I don't even think your Twitter account posted nope, they did not post a single highlight. In fact, I don't even think they posted the halftime score. No, they didn't. Unless I'm Twitter blacked out or something, and they couldn't. They did not post that. So, but for the first time since 1994, the Chicago Bears have shut out a team, and for the first time since 1999, we have scored 38 points in a preseason match. The last team that did it, 34 to 28 over the St. Louis Rams. Hey, wait a minute. 99, the Rams, greatest show on turf. I guess my statements previously are retracted. They are going to win the Super Bowl. All right. So let's look at the Bills. There isn't really much for the Bills, let's be honest here. Mitch Trubisky, trash. I'm sorry, Trubisky. That was not a good performance. I mean, it's probably better than Mike White, but that was not a good performance from what I expect from a Mitch Trubisky. Bouchel is a quarterback, I think. I don't know. Frank Gore, besides the 1 fumble, was probably the best offensive producer. 8 attempts for 51 yards and then 4 receptions for 30 yards. If that man does not get a roster spot for the Bills, I will be very shocked. He did fumble, but who cares about that? Hancock had a pretty good game before he got injured. Unfortunately, their new kicker could not, kick for them well. He just signed with them a week ago, so maybe that has something to do with it. But, yeah, I mean, I did forget that the Bills gave up 34 points in the previous game against the Giants, but that doesn't really matter. Still, that's a pretty horrid performance. Maybe besides the punter. The punter averaged 48.8 yards. 2 of his 6 punts were inside the 20. So, I'll give him that. It was a pretty good. To the Bears. Caleb Williams, 6 of 10, 107, 1 touchdown. First drive, he had 97 passing yards. Now, we had a 93-yard drive. math makes sense. Just we didn't run the ball much. Then we move on over to Tyson Bagent. 196 yards. Now, the percentage could be better. I mean, 13 to 22 is kind of putting up last season's numbers. But 196, one touchdown, only took one sack, escaped from like 4 others. And then Austin Reed. Fourth quarter cleanup. I was a bit scared. I thought his Western Kentucky magic was gone. It is so back. It is so back. 6 to 7, 66 yards, led the touchdown drive. And would have led a second if we actually, scored on that touchdown drive instead of kneeling it. Cowards. But now we move on to the battle for the final position. Hankins injured himself early on, and we needed to protect the other running backs. So for the entire game, it was a Ian Wheeler versus Burton Brown Dukem to see which back was actually going to make the roster. And as of now, I do believe both running backs are roughly of the same quality. They have some, upsides and downsides that, each of the other one or the other can take advantage of in the position battle. But I think Wheeler is just a bit better. I think they trust him more in the closer range, like closer to scoring touchdowns. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. There wasn't much passing outside of the first 3 quarters. The fourth quarter was just a bunch of runs. But Tyler Scott was today's leader, but by far the best, the best quarterback of them all. Wide receiver, best quarterback skill wins, obviously. Best wide receiver out of all of them, Luther Burden. He personally accounted for 2 touchdowns with his magnificent blocks. I love this man so much. I wish for this man to be on the team for the next 15 years. And guess who is third? It's Mari Toure. My Nebraska, woo! Thank goodness he escaped from the devil and is now back on God's favorite team, the Bears. We will use that until the end of time, I guess. Wilson did pretty well for himself as a tight end. I'm not entirely sure what happened at the end. I think he might, whatever. But then there's Zacchaeus. His one catch, 36 yards and a touchdown. Pretty good. He was like wide receiver 3 for the Commanders. I don't know why they released him. That's stupid. Komet, we didn't think he would play, but he got one catch for 29. Just a pretty good route running. That was the thing that impressed me today. A lot of good route running. Little just running around. Get over there, beat out the defender with the just simple running. Loveland had an okay day, two receptions, 26. Richardson unfortunately got injured in the end, but 2 catches for 21 yards. And then some other, but the lowest amount of receiving yards that someone got for actually catching the ball was 11, and that honor goes to Boykin. Second lowest was Moore. I think because Alexander wasn't played as much, he's probably got his roster spot secured. Unless I missed an injury or something, but I think he's probably making it. Brown obviously did fumble once, but he recovered it himself. Yeah, hallelujah. And then Reed did the funny trick play for 4 yards. We'll call it a trick play, and it was definitely intentional. And then Xavier Carlton, after a punch out by long name guy, you know who he is. He recovered it. Yeah. Bemega. I swear I never even hear commentators say this name, so I can never say it. But yeah. Booker, he got one of the 2 sacks on the day to end drives. The other one was Billings. Yes, Billings got a sack. I was thoroughly impressed with his ability to actually get a sack. Good shit, lad. Booker, I mean, the roughing the passer penalty was sad, but who cares? And Santos. We cut Kim last week, which was kind of a big surprise. I'm not entirely sure why we cut Kim because we could have traded him for a 7th-round pick or something, maybe even to the Bills. I don't know. Then Torrey Taylor, he had 2 punts, 1 touchback, and average 57.5. But his like net average is like 40 something, so unfortunate. The kickoff returns were not good. The start of the game, Tyler Scott, what are you doing with that running ass catch? Never do that again. Nope. Then Richardson with one punt return that was pretty good, and then Alexander with 2 punt returns that were just okay. So, yeah. But the overall statistics are funny. 31 first downs, 39 minutes and 12 seconds of possession, 9 of 16 for third downs compared to 0 for 8 for the Bills. They never converted a third. They also never converted a fourth, while we got 2 of 3. They had 183 yards. We had 528. The one time that the Bills did get in, position to maybe score something, on their own, besides the 4th down shenanigans that we did at the end of the second quarter. Yeah, they still didn't. They missed that field goal pretty bad. 180 yards to 528, which was about 531 before the kneel downs. Which 6.4 yards per play is like way better than anything that we had like last season. Unfortunately, we did lose the yards per rush, but merely because they had 13 rushes and we had 43. 43 rushes. I mean, I don't remember that many, but hey, whatever. Good amount of red zone efficiency, good amount of goal to go, whatever. Penalties. Yeah, the Bills just kept taking penalties, man. I swear this ref missed like 2 OPIs before he finally got one of them. Like, but obviously the Bills won in the return game because they took so many goddamn kickoffs. It's the one kickoff at the beginning of the game that we took, and that's that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm a lot more hyped than I thought I would be. I mean, it would have dampened a little bit if they did score on that one drive that they had, but we got the shutout. They got the donut. We got 1-0-1. We will take it, and it's now on to the Chiefs. Which, if I wasn't going to a certain other game, I would totally be trying to buy tickets to that, but no. No, already going there. Hey, did you know that Arrowheads, like, if you could not bother to walk half a mile to the stadium, you have to pay $50. Like, if you were to try and buy, like, one day, like, parking tickets, you'd have to cough up $50. Bruh. They don't even get to like $10 around here for like Husker games. Like, whatever, man. Whatever. I'm sure the Bears also do something similar. But anyhow, the Bills did hold us to the under. So whoever won on that, I'm sure they were screaming for joy when when they started the kneel. Maybe my microphone will actually fucking work. Like, Jesus, this is bad. I'm gonna have to fix some settings with this microphone before I do that. It's on there. Just stay on there, you stupid. Okay, it's fine. I'm gonna have to deal with OBS later. It's fine. Anyhow, I will see you guys on Friday for more Bears shenanigans. Maybe we will beat the Chiefs and get the almighty preseason champions once again. See ya.